Welcome to the deep dive. Today we are really digging into the latest from Google I/O, specifically that huge wave of AI announcements they made.
That's right. And we're basing this deep dive mainly on a transcript excerpt from The Verge's YouTube coverage, which gave a great look at the keynote.
Yeah, really solid source. So our mission here is to cut through all the presentation gloss and the buzz.
Get to the core of it.
Exactly. We want to pull out the most important stuff. Not just what they announced, but what does it actually mean for you? How could this tech change, well, how you use your phone, get stuff done online, maybe even how you see the world? Let's dive in.
Absolutely. And maybe the best place to start is the foundation, the actual hardware powering all this AI. Google talked up their new 7th gen TPU called Ironwood.
Okay, PPUs, that's their custom AI chips. So Ironwood, what's the big deal?
Well, the headline figure is performance. They're saying it delivers 10 times the performance over the last generation.
10 times.
Yeah. Specifically, 42.5 petaflops per pod. That's just a massive amount of raw compute power for AI tasks.
Okay, a 10x power boost definitely sets the stage. Is this just for Google's internal use?
No, actually. They said Ironwood is coming to Google Cloud customers later this year.
Gotcha. So businesses and developers building on Google Cloud get that power too.
Right. It means potentially much more capable AI applications built by others, not just Google.
Okay, foundation. Stronger, faster. Got it. Now, let's pivot to something that felt, well, pretty futuristic: Google Beam, changing how we communicate.
Yeah, Google Beam, they pitched it as this new AI-first video communication platform. The tech behind it sounds pretty wild. It uses an array of 6 cameras.
6 cameras. Okay, what's the AI doing with all that?
It's merging those video streams in real time and then rendering you on a special 3D light field display.
Light field display. So it's like projecting a 3D image of the person, making it feel more like they're there.
That's exactly the goal, creating a much stronger sense of presence, like you're actually in the room together, not just looking at a flat screen.
Did they talk about performance?
Uh-huh.
Because that sounds like it needs to be smooth.
Oh, yeah. They mentioned near-perfect head tracking, down to millimeter accuracy, and it all runs in real time at 60 frames per second.
Millimeter accuracy.
Yeah.
That's impressive. Needed to avoid that uncanny valley feel, I guess.
Precisely. That precision and speed are key to making the 3D effect feel natural, not, laggy or weird.
And is it just a concept, or is hardware actually coming?
No, it's real. They're partnering with HP on the first Google Beam devices. Early customers can get them later this year.
Interesting. But they also mentioned bringing some of this tech into existing tools, right? Like Google Meet.
Right. They're taking the core tech from Starline, which Beam is built on, and integrating parts of it into Meet. The big demo was real-time speech translation.
Yeah, I remember that example. It's nice to finally talk to you.
Yeah.
The translation popping up.
Exactly. Real-time translated captions appearing right in the Meet call. They said English and Spanish are available now for subscribers.
And more languages coming.
More languages rolling out, and it's coming to enterprise customers later this year, too.
That feels like a genuinely useful feature for breaking down language barriers, especially now. Okay, let's shift gears. Gemini and this idea of its expanding agentic power seems like a major theme.
Oh, absolutely central. This whole idea of Gemini becoming an agent, something that can do things for you. It starts with Gemini Live, using the camera and screen sharing tech from Project Astra.
Right, so you point your phone camera at something or share your screen and just talk to Gemini about it.
Yeah, have a natural conversation about what you're seeing in real time.
This is where those slightly funny examples came in, like mistaking the garbage truck.
Yes. Mistaking a garbage truck for a convertible or a street light for a building. But they also pointed out Gemini is actually pretty good at identifying things visually and can even, gently correct you if you misidentify something.
AI fact-checking your eyesight.
Okay. And this live visual chat, is it widely available?
It is. Gemini live camera and screen sharing is rolling out now, starting today, for everyone on Android and iOS. Wow, okay. So that's a feature people can try immediately. So Gemini can see and understand in real time. But the agentic part implies action, right? That's Project Mariner.
Exactly. Project Mariner is still a research prototype, but it's key. It's about building an agent that can actually use a computer, navigate the web, click things, fill forms, basically operate software like a person would to get tasks done for you.
Using a computer, interacting with websites. Okay, that's a big step beyond just chat. What were the standout features of Mariner they showed?
2 main things. First, multitasking. This agent can apparently handle up to 10 different tasks simultaneously.
10 tasks at once.
Yeah. And second, something called teach and repeat. You show the agent how to do a task once just by doing it yourself, and it learns that process, that plan, so it can repeat similar tasks automatically later.
Whoa! Learning by watching you. That sounds like a seriously capable assistant. Is this capability coming out?
They're bringing these computer use capabilities to developers first through the Gemini API. Broader availability is planned for this summer.
Okay. And they also mentioned integrating something called MCP, Model Context Protocol.
Right. MCP was actually introduced by Anthropic first. It's basically a standard way for AI agents to talk directly to other online services and apps, like using their APIs. Google announced the Gemini SDK now supports MCP tools.
Ah, okay. So you've got Mariner, which lets the AI use the computer interface, click around websites, and then MCP lets it talk directly to the backend services.
You got it. Put them together, and
Yeah.
you have the foundation for an agent that doesn't just understand information, but can actually take actions across different websites and apps.
And this is coming to actual Google products.
Yes, they're integrating these agent capabilities into Chrome, into Search, and into the Gemini app itself.
Tell me about the agent mode in the Gemini app. What was the example?
They showed it finding apartment listings
Mm-hmm.
instead of you manually searching Zillow or whatever.
Gemini does it.
Right. The Gemini app acts as your agent. It uses Mariner to navigate the site, maybe adjust filters like price range or number of bedrooms. And then potentially using MCP, it could interact with the site system to help you schedule a viewing.
So it's not just fetching links, it's navigating, filtering, maybe even initiating actions like booking. That feels different, more powerful.
It's definitely a leap. And they said an experimental version of this agent mode is coming soon for subscribers.
Beyond doing things, they also talked a lot about personalization, making Gemini understand you.
Yeah, through what they call personal context. The idea is if you give permission, and they stressed, it's private, transparent, user-controlled Gemini can use relevant info from your other Google apps, like stuff in Drive, Gmail, Docs.
With permission being the key phrase there, what's a practical example?
The personalized smart replies in Gmail was a good one. You know how Gmail suggests replies now?
Yeah, the quick short ones.
Right. This goes way beyond that. Imagine getting an email from a friend asking for advice. With personal context on, Gemini could look at, say, notes you wrote about that topic in Google Keep, or scan past emails for related info, like hotel reservations, or maybe find details in a Google Docs itinerary.
And use all that personal history to draft a reply.
Exactly. But critically, it's not just about pulling facts. It analyzes your past emails to match your greeting style, your tone, your typical word choices.
So the generated reply actually sounds like you wrote it.
That's the goal. To generate a draft that's not just relevant contextually, but also stylistically matches how you communicate.
That's pretty sophisticated. And that's coming to Gmail when?
Coming to Gmail this summer for subscribers.
Okay, let's switch back to the underlying models. They updated Gemini Flash, their sort of efficient model.
Right, Gemini Flash 2.5. They basically said it's better across the board, reasoning, coding, handling long documents or conversations, just generally more capable.
Faster, smarter. Got it. They also showed a really interesting text-to-speech capability, multilingual.
Yeah, this sounded pretty advanced. They called it a first-of-its-kind multilingual text-to-speech with native audio output. It covers over 24 languages.
What makes it first of its kind?
The expressiveness. It can apparently capture subtle nuances like whispering, and it can switch languages mid-sentence fluently, all while keeping the same voice character.
Switching languages smoothly in one voice.
Hmm.
That's tricky. And that's available.
Yes, this new TTS is available starting today via the Gemini API for developers.
Security was also mentioned for the new models.
Yeah, they highlighted stronger protections against things like indirect prompt injection attacks, called 2.5 their most secure model yet.
And tools for developers, like thought summaries.
Right. Thought summaries help developers see how the model arrived at and answer its reasoning steps, any tools it used. Available in Pro and Flash via the API. And thinking budgets let devs trade off cost and speed versus output quality. Budgets launch with Flash, coming to Pro soon.
Seeing the why behind the AI's answer is useful. Okay, let's look at Pro 2.5 in action, the coding demo.
Yes, that was impressive. They showed feeding it an image, just a rough sketch of a sphere, and then a prompt asking it to update code based on that sketch.
So visual input directly influencing code generation.
Exactly. And it didn't just generate new code, it updated multiple existing files in the project. They even showed the timing 37 seconds to figure it out and make the changes.
37 seconds from sketch to updated code.
Wow. They also showed native audio interaction, beyond just voice commands.
Yeah, the what if it talked idea, like playing a sound and asking Gemini what it is. The example was identifying a pangolin just from its sound,
Hmm.
and then having Gemini describe its keratin scales.
So understanding sound and connecting it to knowledge. Where's Pro 2.5 available?
In popular IDEs and integrated into Google tools like Android Studio, Firebase Studio, and Gemini Code Assist for developers.
They also unveiled a new coding agent called Jules, different from Code Assist.
Yeah, Joule seems more autonomous. It's an asynchronous agent designed for really complex, multi-step coding tasks and big code bases, things that might take a human developer hours or days. Like what kind of task?
The example was updating an old Node.js version across a large, complex project. Jules could apparently plan all the steps, figure out dependencies, and modify all the necessary files in minutes.
And AI tackling major code refactoring autonomously. That's a significant tool for dev teams. Is Jules available?
It's in public beta now. Developers can sign up at jules.google.
Okay, shifting to generating media. Images first. Imagine 4.
Imagine 4 is their latest image model in the Gemini app. The big improvement they stressed was handling text within the images.
Ah, the classic AI struggle getting words right in pictures.
Exactly. Imagine 4 is supposedly much better at correct spelling and text generation, but also smarter about font style, placement, making the text look like it belongs in the image.
Like that festival poster they showed, with the Chrome Dino and the Bone style font.
Precisely. And they said it's 10x faster than the previous model, too, so you can iterate on ideas much quicker.
Faster iteration is key for creative work. What about video generation? V3.
V3 is their new state-of-the-art experimental video model. The really new thing here is native audio generation.
Native audio, you mean sound effects and stuff synced to the video?
Yes, exactly. Not just background music, but the model generating relevant sound effects, ambient sounds, even character dialogue that matches the video content it's creating.
Wow. Video and matching audio generated together. That makes the output feel much more complete. They touched on music too, LIA2.
Right, LIA2 launched recently, focuses on high-fidelity, professional-sounding music. They mentioned it can handle complex melodies, even vocals like solos or choirs, sounding expressive.
And LIA2 is out now.
Yes, available today for enterprises, YouTube creators, and musicians.
With all this AI generation, knowing what's real and what's AI made is crucial. SynthID.
SynthID is their watermarking tech. They started with images embedding invisible signals. Now the detector works for images, audio, text, and video. It can tell if the whole thing or even just part of it was AI generated.
That seems incredibly important for trust and transparency. Rolling out now.
Starting to roll out to early testers today, yes.
They also showed a high-end AI filmmaking tool, Flow, in collaboration with Darren Aronofsky.
Yes, Flow. The idea is to put their best video generation models directly into the hands of professional filmmakers. They showed a short film made using it, blending actor performances with AI-generated scenes.
What makes Flow different for a filmmaker?
Consistency seems key. You define ingredients, characters, locations, styles, and Flow keeps them consistent across shots. Plus, you can give really specific direction, like camera movements or shooting paths.
So it's a creative partner helping realize complex visions.
That seems to be the pitch. Augmenting creativity, enabling visuals that might be difficult or impossible otherwise, while letting the director maintain control.
Okay, we've hit infrastructure, communication, agents, models, media generation. How does this all package up for users? Subscription.
Yeah, they announced new plans, Google AI Pro and a higher tier, Google AI Ultra, basically upgrading their existing plans.
What's the difference between Pro and Ultra?
Pro is global, has the full suite of features, higher usage limits than the free tier. Ultra is US only for now, rolling out globally, and gets the highest limits and the earliest access to brand new stuff.
So Ultra is the premium early adopter tier. What kind of perks?
Huge rate limits, access to things like the 2.5 Pro Deep Think mode when it launches, access to Flow with the V3 video model today, plus bundles like YouTube Premium and lots of storage.
Got it. Premium access for a premium price, presumably?
Yeah.
And Gemini isn't just staying on phones and desktop.
No, big push into other devices. They said watches, car dashboards, TVs in the coming months.
Ambient computing. What about totally new devices? Headsets, glasses, Android XR.
Right. Android XR is their platform for these emerging form factors. They made a point that it's not one size fits all. Headsets for immersive stuff, lightweight glasses for quick info on the go.
And they're partnering up for this.
Yes, built with Samsung and optimized for Qualcomm Snapdragon chips.
So Gemini on a headset, what does that look
Yeah.
like?
The first device is Samsung's Project Muhan, coming later this year. The demo showed Gemini acting as a spatial assistant, like asking Gemini via Google Maps to teleport you somewhere virtually, or watching baseball in an app and having Gemini provide stats contextually.
Gemini understanding the virtual space you're in.
Okay.
And glasses.
Android XR glasses are meant to be lightweight, maybe all-day wear. Camera, mics, speakers, and potentially an in-lens display for private info.
A natural form factor for AI, they call it. What could you do?
The demo showed basic stuff like seeing texts, launching Gemini with voice, silencing notifications, but also more advanced things, looking at a photo wall and asking Gemini about the band shown, asking for the name of a coffee shop you're looking at, getting walking directions overlaid in your vision, sending an invite.
So real-world visual understanding combined with digital actions, hands-free.
Exactly. They mentioned potential uses like a personal teleprompter, prescription lenses integration, taking a photo just by asking Gemini.
And that ambitious live translation demo on the glasses?
Yeah, trying to show real-time spoken language translation appearing right in the glasses display. A bit shaky, but it showed the potential.
When are these glasses coming? Who's making them?
Prototypes are being tested now. They're developing the platform for glasses later this year. First partners mentioned were Gentle Monster and Warby Parker, building glasses using Android XR.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot. From silicon like ironwood all the way to AI-powered glasses. They even had that AI counter during the keynote, didn't they?
Huh, yeah, a bit gimmicky, but it definitely emphasized how much AI permeated every announcement. Gemini pulling ahead on the leaderboard.
Right. So if you had to step back and summarize the main strategic push here, what would it be? What's the core message?
I think the core message is that Gemini isn't just a chatbot anymore. Google sees it as a universal AI assistant. One that understands your real-world context, what you see, here potentially uses your personal info safely, interacts with websites and apps like an agent, and lives across all your devices, including these new XR ones.
So AI, moving beyond the screen, becoming deeply woven into how we interact with both the digital and physical world.
Exactly. It's about context, agency, and presence across different form factors. That seems to be the big vision they're pushing.
That shift towards an agent that understands reality and can act within it, that feels like the thread connecting everything. Hopefully this deep dive helped you, the listener, piece together that picture from all those announcements.
Yeah, it's clear they want Gemini to be this pervasive, helpful intelligence integrated everywhere. Communication, search, creativity, devices.
So maybe the final thought for you to chew on is this. What happens when AI doesn't just understand your query, but understands what you're seeing and hearing right now, and can take action based on that, in the real world or online? What possibilities does that unlock, and what new questions does it raise about how we'll live and work?
Definitely a lot to think about.
Indeed. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the Google I/O AI announcements.